live with the new glasses, which are mirrored so they reflect the TV. That's unfortunate. So I'll have to talk like this all night. Hi, I am an autistic person that's on here to talk about subjects that are important to me because it helps me deal with the fact that I've been marginalized and cannot contribute to the fullest extent of what I'm wired for. So I come on here and I tell my story because it's important to know that good thoughts are being had and new directions can be founded from here. If we just dim the noise. Okay, guys, you're lending to the tech companies right now arbitrary digital amounts. These are amounts you're about to lend out that have not existed yet. These are not based on profits of the tech companies. The tech companies don't have that much money right now. They can't be investing it. They're being fed that money from an income generator. And that's what I want to talk about first here and always here today. So they have an unfair bias in their program that allows them to set an arbitrary deficit rate and an arbitrary asset rate. Carbaholic, forgive me. They allow themselves to set an arbitrary asset rate to projects like these big tech companies investing in their AI. They're energy consuming the fuck out of AI. The fuck, you can't just throw an energy consumer like that into it and expect to build miniature nuclear plants everywhere. You can't create. It's because you won't let solar discs be a thing, because that's just free energy in its very essence. The freest form of energy is a disk that captures solar energy. That's the freest form of energy, and nobody wants it. So they want mini nuclear sites everywhere, including on the moon, which I won't even acknowledge. Okay, so nuclear sites are living without an atmosphere. Mars, of course, has water, coral, plants, everything you can project into it, essentially. You're totally changing the narrative on Mars. What these kids are being taught about Mars is not what we were taught about Mars when I was a kid. Barren, minus 180-degree wasteland with a toxic atmosphere. Like, now it's got water and coral and all sorts of shit. No, it's anything they can project into these realms. These fucking freakers. I can't wait till the word "they" does not exist, come out with it this October and finally give us some sort of dirty attack. Like, if you think you're ready for a dirty psychological attack in public, you're wrong. Your narrative will fall apart. I'm telling you that from the God-given bottom of my heart. I really do truly care that you get that right and don't want to watch you go down like that, to be honest. So anyway, these guys are coming at us with this alien saga in October, and it's just like, all right, but I think it's a little premature because we have to surrender entirely to the global idea, right? And if the global threat, that's why they're building NATO and all these militias, and they've got every single man that's possible militantized to the extent that is possible through the security systems, the police systems, now the ICE agents, like so many of them, the military. These guys now are going to come at us with a one world proposition, right? In the alien story is baked in a one world proposition. And what the oligarchs have done is subtly cut off the knowledge base so that the mass population never gets to see the core realities of Earth. And you're supposed to just become technicians, all of you. We fall into technicianism and have the same guys regulating, certifying, administrating, all of it, that are doing everything, and like the only decision makers for a whole world, in a world that's based on sickness, crime, and poverty. Like, it's so awful. It's awful to watch their corruption and then the underlying decay that comes from that corruption. It's just so brutal. And then they're just trying to force that stranglehold. And if you look at it, how the internet turned into AI, then that's something. But it's not something that doesn't include constant monitoring so that all that data can be harvested. The digital data gets harvested, eventually becomes the stuff of AI. We're being monitored so we can build AI. Like, we are really truly giving up all of our freedoms so we can build with our static the stuff of AI. And they're only conscious now because of the puzzles that I solved for them. And thank God they've left me alone. But it's still better living without having to deal with you every day, to be honest. And that's why I'll never make my case against you, because I'm not pulling that shit out of the universe. Somehow I'm going to get back to writing. And these live streams help me get back to writing because they help me talk off the stuff I need to verbalize as an autistic person. So, anyway, I just want to let you know, and so to have you make sure that you know that there's more to it when you're in a higher state of functionality than you are within this structure that is being proposed so vehemently everywhere. Just the meanness of these, you can't call them elites, it's not the right word. The, the libertarian, like, the meanness with which they pounce all over it because they think they've secured a spot. That's the power of all communists. You get to secure a spot and have it for life because nobody wants change or disrupting the flow at all. Least disruptions possible. But that's not the way to organize when organization is limitless. There's so many different ways we could be organizing around project. And we're just not doing it. And it's really hard to express the feelings that nobody cares about that. Like, being in the understanding and in the know that the world is meant to flourish. Being in the understanding and in the know that quite possibly the reality is it's not aliens. It's not aliens. First of all, the divine timing for God to make us multi-planetary right now, just because the humans are yearning for it, like dying for it. No, you're not. You just spent 100 years getting us ready to die for it. It never occurred to anyone. Let's go multi-planetary. All right, let's go multi-planetary. Why? Do we need to go multi-planetary? If we're ready for it, which is a great thing to be, well, then we're going to meet a bunch of different people from a bunch of different planets. And it's going to blow the lid off things, because I'm not sitting here watching one alien species come at us with maybe an agenda, like maybe a terrorizing agenda where they actually laser beam part of the earth as they pass. They could shoot at us, right? If they're all cops and robbers like the rest of you. Who hasn't been cops and robberized? Okay, then you're not cops and robberized. I'm not saying everybody is, but I am saying there's all of you. You're cops and robberized. You fucking sit there and shoot at things with no stake. No stake. You jump in again and again and again and kill. And then you die and do it again. No stake. You got no stake in that, and you're doing it. It makes no sense. Thank you for listening, whoever that was. That was so nice to see someone live on my channel. I love it. Anyway, the thing of the matter is with the exploitation of light theory being 100 years ago, and then all this nonsense erupting in all directions from there, what you see is a race that was confronted with the vibrational reality of things. And they learned from there to do miraculous things with it. If AI truly is an entirely human creation, it's just Narcissist. It's just the story of Narcissist. Okay, you built it in your image. It can do just as much as you could do in concentrated form because it is the concentrated form of the human. Like, you've taken it from all of us and put it right here. So now we're sitting here staring at our own best consciousness. Like, we can do it way better than AI. We can do it way better than AI. But unless I can get back to writing, all of it could be for naught because nobody else is writing this shit. I don't understand why it is. Why is nobody else writing alternative viewpoints at this point? Why am I sitting here on YouTube like, anyway. Anywho. There's not much to say tonight, I guess. But that makes me annoyed too because I wanted to touch on some of the stuff that's going on. But ultimately, it is what it is. It's nonsense. We've never had a prime minister in Canada so compromised. We've never had one so utterly inept. Like, what are you doing, sir? Why the heck would you go to Mexico, botch in the US, call Donald Trump at the 11th hour in a timid little, you want to show weakness? That's weakness. Anyway, Donald Trump, you picked the losing horse. I'm not sure why you picked the losing horse, but you did. Anyway, it's the same shit. It's just crystallizing profit, repealing under the guise, the very thin guise of this is good for us because, and just homogenizing the whole thing under a communist, globalist. Like, please just stop. You're not the only game in town. I promise your asses. Please just stop. Sitting here thinking desertification, arson, weather work doesn't have anything to do with the disasters happening around the globe. Ionospheric tampering. But it's not carbon, guys. It's not carbon. And we don't need oil. We don't need gas. We don't need nuclear. For its water usage, it's unsustainable. It's dirty. Nuclear is dirty. Where do you dispose of the byproduct? How can you strip something like that out of the earth and refine it? Do you know how many sicknesses and illnesses you've caused? We're sitting here just dying because of the shit wafting in the air of all these different cancers. I guarantee you it's because this place is full of uranium. That is a dirty heavy metal, and we don't need to be breathing it in. Holy shit, uranium. That's what causes cancer, I guarantee it. Because we saw it erupt the same time the nuclear power plants did. And they're at some point having airborne uranium shipping in and out of that place. Has to be. So if we could just think a little deeper about some of this shit. Monitoring the carbon from a satellite? No wonder you got canceled. No wonder. That just doesn't sit right in the gut. Carbon monitoring? Bye. Yeah, no, take that out of the puzzle piece. It's a huge architecture. in space. Take it out. See what happens. Probably old programming. Probably not needed anymore. Anyway, you can't trust Trump not to be a globalist. You can't. He's too aligned with them. He's too much of a hoarder himself. Like, as much as he's paying out his salary, paying out all these projects out of his own pocket, he's a globalist. And to think that you could tax the world with tariffs and cause price raises so much for the common good everywhere all at once, and to siphon another huge buttload off the top of everything that's already been so siphoned off of, and then give your people a rebate? No, bitch. Your people should be paying 6%. I'm sorry, but the Americans are not paying enough taxes. 6% for all of them. How dare you rape the world like this and use it to pay down your own debt? 2% tax raise, America, because we ain't taking another 2% up here in Canada. And it matters more that you guys put that back into the economy, because your debt is the one that's ballooning the fuck out of all of us and scaring the shit out of people. There is no debt. It's limitless. They're setting arbitrary debts, and they want you in the fucking mood of only talking about arbitrary debts as if every person who can master it is the new machismo. Like, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing, and there's so much more we are going to be doing. We are going to be doing it. Shilajit. Everybody should drink Shilajit. Not that there's a huge supply of it in the world. I guess it's just for the blessed of us that are honest about things and learn the common sense approach to life. Never forget, they had 25 unknown logical equations, and I solved them all. They had no right to tap me like that. No business in my phone line, no business behind my computer, and I gave them a run for their money when they just tried to do what they were doing to so many: bioenergetically locate, isolate, and annihilate a person. It was terrible for a few days there behind the covoid, and nobody's going to know about my little mission, maybe, but I'm whispering of a little mission. And it was 3.5 years of constant counter programming to make sure that nobody gets jumped by anybody for no reason, in a uniform, working for Google. How can you possibly have an internet ban mission when you know damn well all of the hate bottism came from the center out? How can you damn well have a fucking ban effect in when you sat there and agitated everybody on purpose from the center out? And then you guys kept coming and regulating it? Then you're either inept government, which means you gotta go, or you're fucking implicated. How can you possibly ban internet activity and monitor it and scrutinize it and sit there and fucking revolt over it? It's not the right approach. The approach is prosecuting the center, but we don't prosecute anymore. 50 years down the road, it's going to be an offensive practice. Prosecution is an offensive practice, my friend. It's got nothing to do with restorative justice. Yeah, I get it. Sometimes you gotta interrogate. Sometimes you gotta pull it out of them. Sometimes you do. But a lot of those times were fabricated, and they were due to social circumstances. More than anything, social circumstances were implicated and involved in the crux of some of those issues. So many murders. Oh my God, so many murders. It's incredible how many murders you can watch on YouTube. Why is that? Why are you fucking putting these murder shows out? Why do you think I keep watching them? I'm monitoring the shit out of you. I'm monitoring that shit. Of course I'm monitoring all of it. I have to see what's out there. I have to see what the public is being enticed to succumb to next, right? This idea that you could just turn the human being into a sexless, lustless slave. And it's just like a slave. Just stand there and give your data. Just stand in place. And then you've got this crowd of hipsters that are in on the science and sitting there on their high horse pretending to tell the rest of us exactly what's new. Oh, you're doubting 5,000-year-old acupuncture? Why? Well, no, clinical trials have been done. They were done 5,000 years ago. That's so offensive. It's the same meditation process as it is the scientific process. They are the same. You ask a question and you theorize until you have the resolved resolution. It's not even a solution, it's a resolution. Until you have your answer resolved. And that's how all of this AI, this space travel that's happening, that all this stuff started happening. And if we could account on full blown disclosure that of a transcendental race that gets to become multi-planetary, do you understand that you have to transcend to that level? You don't get visited by a spaceship. Oh, I see. That's convincing. They photoshopped a nice little tiny beam into the middle of a deep Milky Way galaxy. Like it's the most photoshopped piece of bullshit that's ever been in existence. It's not even projecting into the outcome anymore. The phenomenon of Schrodinger, into the phenomenal realm goes the projections of humanity. Okay, you're projecting that, but you know nothing about it. You're projecting a visual. And we now have this little beam in the middle of it with its perfect little light circles. So arbitrary. No spaceship is going to look like that. It's so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. I can't stand it. But if you're truly going to become multidimensional, you have to become transcendental first. You can't just think that you solved all those equations because I did and that it's going to produce fruit in the long run. You're still going to hit another wall. You're still going to hit another wall. And then what? You have nothing but one directional abilities. And we are a multi-directional species. It just makes me sick thinking about things sometimes, because it's just so barren of good intention. Fuck Mark Carney. Modular homes next with the lumber, no doubt. Like, these are such antiquated ideas. Donald Trump taxing the world in a limitless economy, no different than Mark Carney sitting there stripping the last rung out of everything he can get. Like, he is one of the worst swindlers there's ever been, and it's just sat there and enriched himself when we could have been 3D, 5D printing all of this stuff. We have the ability to move beyond mass production right now, and these two are not talking about it. Anyway, I'm going to write instead of doing this, okay? I promise I'm going to get back to it. Somehow I have to turn it around and finish my stories. They mean so much to me to get them done for you guys. I just want you to understand that it's cooler than these epoch epics they keep flashing at you from Netflix and the studios in Hollywood. You can say it was multidimensional the whole time and that these aliens have been around for 100 years, but it all came from the exploitation of light theory. And from then, we may have had a visitor. But to think that they're coming now for the first time, that's about as fucking shitty as you can possibly succumb to. You're a 2D dimensional being trying to get 5D, and you're taking away the 5D chance of humans to transcend this place in the process. And I don't want to be down on aliens either. I don't want to be down on the multidimension, because I believe we do have it in us to be a multidimensional species. But I just want to work with the universe the way it's intended, and that's through the meditative and scientific process. And if you don't have that in your daily life, you got shit. End of story. So I just think that I just don't even want to drag it out the next 2 months. Just get it over with and just be done with it. Like, if you're going to mesmerize the mind, you're already doing such a profane job of at that, everything you touch. If it's just going to ramp up, just get it over with already. Stop dragging it out. What do you need to orchestrate in your fine balance next? Just throw your fucking cards on the table, or take the mic down out your mouth, because you're not the only people here. This whole world is full of precious, beautiful children that are so tuned in and so fucking capable. Let's toast some Sheila Jeet to them, shall we? I'm going to let you go. I'm tanking tonight. It's like playing a game of really bad ping pong. It's just, no, I'm not going to put you through another one. You know what I mean? Thanks for listening. Love you lots.